This is the East Broad Top Railroad. It's a narrow gauge railroad located in Rock Hill Furnace, Pennsylvania, and has been in operation since 1872. But what makes this railroad special?
The thing that makes these broad tops so remarkable is how remarkably complete it is. It is a nearly complete collection of equipment. The railroad itself, the track, the infrastructure is still there. The belt-driven machine shop complex, the roundhouse, the station, our vast archival collection of documents, maps, drawings, payroll ledgers, board of directors minutes. We are able to tell a very comprehensive story here that is one of the most complete stories of American railroad industry. We have a snapshot, a complete snapshot here of what a late 19th, early 20th century regional railroad would have looked like.
So what does narrow gauge really mean?
So most railroads that you ride around the United States today, Amtrak, your commuter trains, those are what's called standard gauge. That's 4 feet, 8.5 inches from rail to rail. Our railroad is 3 foot narrow gauge. There's some smaller narrow gauge, there's some bigger narrow gauge. Narrow gauge is anything less than 4 feet, 8.5 inches. We happen to be 3 foot narrow gauge, which means that all of our equipment is 3/4 the size of an Amtrak train, for example. And the reason for that is the mountainous terrain that the railroad encounters on its way to the coal fields in the southern end of Huntingdon County. Narrow gauge railroads were very good at traversing mountainous terrain. They can go around sharper curves. Where you'd usually have to build a tunnel, you could probably just go around it. Where you'd have to build a bridge, you could probably snake your way down the valley and come up the other side. So it was much more cost effective. We happen to now be the only original narrow gauge railroad east of the Mississippi.
Since the railroad is 150 years old, you can imagine it's seen its share of roadblocks. In 1956, the EBT closed its doors. Workers were sent home and they left their tools right where they were working. These shops remain untouched, and today, thanks to the East Broad Top Foundation, you can take a step back into history.
A guided tour of our belt-driven machine shop. So again, one of the things that makes the railroad so remarkably intact is the fact that we have an entire complex of structures that were the support structures for the railroad when it was operating. We have a blacksmith shop, a foundry, a carpentry shop, an air brake shop, an electrical shop, and then of course a belt-driven machine shop that is like stepping back in time in the most literal sense.
When the railroad closed in 1956, it was sold to Nick Kowalczyk, who bought it for scrap. After realizing the amazing history he now possessed, he couldn't bring himself to harm 1 inch of the 33-mile line. Instead, in 1960, he reopened it for tourist excursions. Then, in 2011, the tourist train breathed its last breath of steam. The railroad sat alone for a decade. But then in 2020, a group of investors created the EBT Foundation. And this has once again given new life to the little railroad that could. Thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share. And for even more fun tales, please go to our website at www.thefunchasers.com.